I'm Dora from Finn Your Fishmonger, located at 2050 Western Avenue in Guilderland, New York. We are a fresh seafood market. And because we're a fresh seafood market, we're going to be doing something with seafood today. We're going to do a ceviche, a scallop ceviche. So let me tell you a little bit first about ceviche. It's not actually raw fish. This similar way that you would be kind of rearranging the proteins when you're using heat to cook your chicken or your beef or your fish, we're going to be rearranging those proteins using acid. And in this case, we're going to be using grapefruit, orange, and lime. We're going to use scallops today. These are the scallops we bring in to Finn. These are wild, dry scallops. And they're called dry not because I've wiped them off with a paper towel, but because they don't have a chemical in them called sodium tripolyphosphate, which is really a preservative, and it pumps your scallop full of a liquid, so you're paying for scallop and liquid, and sometimes seawater too is put in there. Our scallops are just scallop, nothing but that. The other thing you'll notice on this scallop, if I can ask my trusty cameraman to move a little bit forward, there's a muscle on here. Do you see that right here? We're going to need to take that muscle off, and you can see the muscle because it kind of goes in a different direction than the rest of the scallop meat. Let me see if I can find another one. Can you see that muscle right here? You just put your fingernail under it and pull it right off. You can eat this, you'll just be chewing it till next Tuesday, and you don't want to do that. So let's get all the muscles off of our scallops. These are diver scallops. They're really beautiful. So with ceviche, you can use just about any fish. I mean, you can use snapper, you can use halibut, you can use salmon. We're going to use the scallops today. One of the things that's really kind of characteristic about ceviche, in addition to the acid, is that it's really bright in color and in flavor. So you'll see what we're going to be doing today. The first thing I'm going to do with these scallops is to cut them in coin shapes. I could dice them, but I'm choosing to cut them in a coin shape, super thin. And I'm going to put them in my bowl. It's a plastic bowl and not metal because I don't want the acid to have a reaction with the metal, right? So now I don't need to use a whole pound of scallops to do this either. I'm just using 4 scallops. This is going to be plenty. I'm actually, for the purposes of our demo, only going to use 2 of them. I'm going to put some mango in there with that. I'm going to dice the mango. Put that right in my bowl. I'm going to take some red onion. There's some more colors. Now we've got white and orange and this beautiful purple. Super, super thin. I could dice this too if I wanted to. If I had diced my scallops, I think I would probably have diced my red onion as well. So I'm going to do that super thin. I'm going to put in some parsley. Now with my parsley, I love to use the stems. I'm really one of those people that doesn't have any waste in my kitchen. So I'm going to chop this up real fine. If you don't want to use the stems in your ceviche, I would still recommend that you save the stems in that bag in your freezer where you keep your carrot shavings and your pieces of celery that you're going to use for stock at some point later. I'm also going to add some ginger. This ginger, you know how when you go to the store you buy a huge bunch of ginger and you only end up using a little bit of it? I cut mine into pieces and I put it in my freezer and I store it in the freezer. So this just came out of my freezer. And here's how I'm going to peel the skin off. I'm going to take it off with this spoon. I could use a peeler like this, and absolutely you can. You know, the spoon's handy, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to grate it into my dish. Get that in there. Oh, that's good. That smells awesome. And now I'll cut some jalapeno super thin. Another kind of hallmark of ceviche is that there's a little bit of spice in there. So we'll put these in. You know, I'm an at-home cook. I'm not a professional chef. I cook like you at home. I don't have the best knife methods at all. You don't have to have the best knife methods. You don't have to be a professional to be able to cook something like this. So now I'm going to put the grapefruit in. So I'll roll it first to get those juices flowing, and then I'll cut it and squeeze the juice right in. Now, grapefruit juice is a little on the bitter side, so I've chosen to add some orange. That'll sweeten it up a little bit, right? I've heard of people putting honey in their ceviche. I've never done that, but you certainly can. I've just got a pit in there, so we're going to take that out because we don't want anybody biting into that. And then we will mix this up. You know what? I'm going to put another scallop in there because when you look inside there, you'll see that the ratio is not quite right. Needs a little more scallop. If you can take a peek in there, cameraman, and show folks that I really do want a little bit more scallop in there. So I'm going to cut these little drums nice and thin. Now, in order for the scallop to, cook, we're going to need to leave it sitting here for about 20 minutes. The longer you let it sit, the more it cooks. And the scallops, when they started, looked a little translucent, and they're going to look a lot more opaque now once they have sat for 20 minutes or so. Now, how to serve ceviche. You can put it on top of a salad. You can put it on a simple plate. I like to pull out those really cool little wine glasses or cocktail glasses that you got from Aunt Maisie and you never knew what to do with, right? Look at how fancy this is going to look. We're going to put our ceviche right in here. We'll have to imagine that this has been sitting in the liquid for 20 minutes or so. And that's it. Look how fancy that looks. So that didn't take anything at all, did it? Get that juice in there. So this is easy enough. Look at that, with just 4 scallops. And here's your scallop ceviche. So we hope you come and visit us at Finn Your Fishmonger in Guilderland. Our website is www.finshops.com. Take a look at our website. You'll see all of the fresh seafood that we have and our cooked menu. We did open back up recently, so we are doing takeaway. So you can come in and grab some fresh fish or some cooked food and pick it up curbside if you'd like. We look forward to seeing you. Take care.